Hello! Welcome! I am Uncle Ush. Today, I have a problem. And, as you can see, my problem is that I have this wonderful building here, but it's kind of bland, and I don't have a neat way to get all the way up to the top there. So, what I need to do is figure out a way to get from here all the way up to there. So, I have a plan, but of course, in my style, I need to make it complicated. And so, I was thinking a little bit, and I'm going to take a page out of one of the things that I did in this iron farm slash villager trading hall, and I want to make an elevator. Now, as you can see, there's no elevator here, but if I come over here and I hit this button, the floor underneath me begins to descend. And I really like this design. Obviously, it's not decorated, but it gets the job done, and it's pretty cool. It's complicated, redstone-wise, and gives a little bit of a cool way to get up and down, and it's hidden up there. So, what I want to do is do the same thing from over here back into my building over yonder. But in order to do that, I need to come up with a plan. And my plan is to do this, but obviously it's in the middle of my building, so I can't just have all of this stuff hanging around everywhere. What I need to do is find a way to get this elevator to be somewhat hidden, and have it go all the way up there. So I guess we'll figure out how to do that. So here I am. I'm in my redstone testing world, and as you can see, there's a lot of contraptions. I am fairly new to redstone. This over here is actually my very first redstone build I ever made. It's not that cool, but I was just experimenting. And it works. And then I've done a lot of experiments with all this stuff. And as you can see over here, this is the elevator design that I made for the Iron Farm / Villager Trading Hall. So let's see what I can come up with, and I think I have an idea. So my idea is to have that with this, that, and that. How does this work? Cool. Okay, let's expand on this. So we'll go here, over here. One more thing. And done. Okay. How does that look? Well, I think that looks alright. Okay, let's test this out. So, this thing looks really complicated, I know, but it'll get the job done, I think. What I've done, I've created a way for us to get onto a platform. So say we're underneath our building, and we would get onto here. And from here, we're on our elevator, our piston flying machine. from here, we have a selection of buttons to choose from. So we can either go up 1 floor, we can go all the way up to the top, or we can go down to the bottom where I'm planning on having a basement. So I want to test this out. So if I want to go all the way up to the top, we'd hit that button, this door would stay closed, and now we're gonna pretend that I'm at the very top of my building. I'd hit this button again to head back down. And once I make it down, this would be where I would get off and I get on my boat and head along the way. But if I want to just go up 1 floor, I'd hit this button. We have some pistons extend, and we can hop on out of here. We hit these pressure plates, the elevator goes back down. This door would close, and this elevator would head back down over to where I would enter from the boat area. But say I'm up here and I didn't want to go back down on my boat, I just press on these pressure plates. This door would open, the elevator would come back up, and I'd head down. And ultimately, we want to be down here. We can choose from where we want to go from this area. Say I want to head down to the basement. So we fly on down. This door would open up, and the same thing as up there. These pressure plates would close this. This would open it. And I get back on the elevator, hit this button, and I make my way back up to the button selection area, or the boat area. But for now, I just want to head out. And everything looks good. So obviously, this is my plan. I need to find a way to fit it into my build. I'm not going to do that this episode, but I'll get it done. I'll figure out a way to make this a little bit smaller. And if you're curious on how this all works, the blue is more of the aesthetics. This is for where I'm going to be walking around. The pink wool is all for the piston door here. It's going to open and close. So how that works is when those pistons extend, this observer sees that, and I have it going into a copper bulb, which then will send out a signal and turn off this redstone torch and that redstone dust to keep the door open. And then the same thing, if I want to have these doors closed, the observer will recognize that the pistons change, turn this bulb off, letting that redstone torch turn on and that dust turn on. This green wool all represents how these pistons work. So this is all the stuff that's going to be, for the aesthetics, for the floor is going to be pretty much. And so I hit this button, right? That'll cause the extenders to go. But that button will cause the redstone dust to turn on, and eventually it'll make its way down to this copper bulb, which then sends a signal to this piston with this redstone block. I don't think we need this in here, so I'll probably remove this. But for now, obviously, gotta make things more complicated, so I want that in there. And that redstone block will activate this redstone dust to turn off these torches, causing these pistons to retract. That same redstone dust will come down into this redstone torch, also this redstone torch, along for all the other ones, which will cause these pistons to retract. And once those are retracted, these pistons will retract, causing the floor to open up. And that flying machine observes that, and then it'll head back down. This black wool / obsidian up here all represents where this elevator is going to stop. So if I were to send it all the way up to the top, right, I'd hit this button, and this elevator has a observer facing that direction, which sends a redstone signal into this block, and that redstone dust comes all the way out here for this observer to see, leading into this observer, which powers this piston. But also this observer has redstone dust on top of it, also leading into this observer. So what original will do, it'll make that piston extend, and this redstone dust will send another signal for it to retract. That redstone dust just activates that observer in the front to make it go down. And then obviously I had the same system pretty much here. And for it to stop over the bottom, I just have a piston or a obsidian at the bottom to stop it. And these observers will shoot redstone signal into that dust, into this bulb, shooting it into this redstone torch to turn it off, causing this door to open up. And then the same thing, if I were to hit this button, cause that bulb to turn off, letting that redstone turn off. So, all this complicated mess, I'm going to be turning this whole complicated contraption into a working elevator in my base. And that is going to be a little bit of a task. But I will keep you all updated. We'll see how this goes. I have many more plans to expand upon this base, especially what's going to go down in that basement. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!